Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Camellia reaction, this time from a new person on my Patreon, Arathane, who said this is, and I quote, a slightly intense Camellia song. Mitsu, the one who usually gives me Camellia songs to react to in my Patreon queue, said that this song was, in their opinion, a little too intense. So with that knowledge, I think I am relatively and maybe reasonably conscientious about this one. I'm apprehensive going into this. I'm not sure how much energy that's gonna be. They did give me the BPM and it was over 220, so I'm like, all right, that does not bode well for my brain tonight, but I will do my best nonetheless and try to say what I can. Usually these are kind of hard to break down and analyze due to how much information is played all at once, but I will definitely try. So without further ado, let's go. Oh no. Oh, dear Lord. Actually turning it up a little bit. Okay. I was promised a song. I got a machine gun. Honestly expected. Whew. Good fucking Lord. As per usual, there's some great sound design elements in here. It's just, it's so fast. I actually really like that vocal processing. That effects stack has got to be nuts. What the hell was that? That's actually kind of sick. Ooh. Oh, that was neat, actually. I'm listening to the synth underneath it. Whew. Dude, the combating rhythms underneath there. What the hell? There's no reason for that to have worked as well as it did. That was unhinged. What? There was at least 3 different rhythms in that. At least 2 of them didn't line up at all. It's just creative use of that space. Doesn't necessarily need to line up as long as there's the overall rhythm happening, and it still followed that. I'm giving final boss energy on this part. This should be illegal. This part. What's up with the sound design on that part? It sounded like there was less going on. Oh. Oh, now it's done. Maybe? Okay, it's done. You can never be too sure. That was both exactly and not at all what I expected. I knew it was going to be very much that type of sound, but there was still some stuff in there that I was even picking out that was really unique to me. Stuff like I mentioned, the sound design is usually top tier coming from Camellia's work, and that's still the case, of course, but there were some creative things even then being done here. Like some new stuff I hadn't heard where they were like, taking out small elements in the background, just noise elements, I think, just straight up extra noise underneath the main part of the song, and removing that as a texture and allowing just the rest of the actual instruments to shine through. That was kind of what I was excited about at the end there before it got crazy again right at the very, very end. And there were some other spots earlier where there was some really interesting synth work that was balancing itself more than I expected underneath. That rhythm section as well was really cool with how it was patterning between, and there is a lot of information in these, and if I was going to give them an actual analysis, I would have to listen way more times and really take things apart and try to hear these individual pieces. But there's just so many layers in these types of songs, with their sound design being so aggressive and all the noise in there being frankly pretty fatiguing just listening to it the first time. There was definitely some neat stuff in there. The little glimpses that I got, as per usual with Camellia's stuff, really, really cool. And I love the application of these concepts and these cool little ideas that are shining through. But it is definitely a lot, and I've never hid that opinion when it comes to Camellia's work. Usually I listen to the more subdued stuff that Mitsu puts in, but this is the first time I've heard any of Camellia's stuff that's like this extreme side of this energy that's just, I cannot figure it out. It's just crazy. But I also have to respect it, as I do with all of Camellia's work, and even more so now. Just being able to build anything conceptually that would sound good with this much going on at this speed, this BPM is nuts. Like, how do you control all of that? Being able to just take everything and put it into a pot and make it actually make sense, even though from the surface, and anybody who's not really familiar with this genre or things that go into music in general, has no way, no frame of reference to know what makes these types of songs good. And I really don't either. Like, this is not my genre of choice, but I can definitely see those spots I was talking about that shone through for me, and I'm able to contextualize that with what I do know and compare and contrast, and that's why I have the respect I do for Camellia's work and this genre as a whole. While it might not be my bread and butter, it might not be my go-to thing, I can still hear it and go, that's some really creative work happening here. And that's exactly what I got out of this one. Just even more so because you really don't think that they're going to spill their really cool ideas in songs that are this messy, frankly. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of mud in the mix as well. There's just a lot of sound. That's why I was saying, like, with actual noise in the background, that's just a texture that a lot of musicians do throw in because they need to have something kind of gluing all of this together. Like, there's musical elements in here, of course there is. Like, you can hear the synths and everything. There's a melody throughout. There's motions to this song, but at the same time, it has to be glued together with something that's consistent. So having all of that noise and those different levels in there, everything that's kind of just acting as a base for all of the other instruments to sit on top of, that's what's cool to me, is how they're able to compact all of that together, make it make sense some fucking how, and make a song that can still have something redeemable in it. Because most people would listen to this, they'd be like, oh, that's just noise, that's random stuff. But there is structure in here that is so pertinent, that's so important, that if that was not there, this song would hold no water. You know, it would just be noise. But that control, that understanding of that is exactly why I have to respect the people who make music in these genres genres. And to be honest, there's probably a lot of people out there who make music in this genre that just don't actually understand music and are throwing stuff to the wall to see what sticks. And honestly, while I don't think that's the most effective way, it is definitely a way to do it, and sometimes it ends up working out. I wouldn't say that's the option most people should take, but sometimes throwing caution to the wind is exactly what makes some musicians do their best work. So I'm not sure what Camellia's side is there, if they really do just throw shit to the wall, see what sticks, and just puts it out there, or if they do meticulously work through layer by layer to figure stuff out and make it this like calculated pile, this weird lasagna casserole thing of music and sound that ends up working out. I don't know what Camellia's process is, but god damn it, I'm glad it's here. But as far as what I actually have to say about this song, I think that does kind of wrap it up. Like I did say earlier, these songs have so much going on in them, it can be hard to analyze deeper where the musicality lies, where the techniques are, because a lot of the time that is thrown to the wayside for the fact that their sound design is so technically impressive that it can be hard to really focus on the rest of the elements in the song. And I just would need a lot more time to be able to break that down, and for these types of videos I really don't have that. So thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you Arthane for being a new Patreon member and throwing this into the queue and throwing something that apparently even Mitsu was like, that's a bit much, and just letting me hear this other side of Camellia. And I'm sure this is now going to embolden Mitsu to throw more complex songs from Camellia and other creators at me. Now that this door has been cracked, this window has been open, I'm sure Mitsu's gonna be like, oh yeah, I've got 50 more. So we'll see how things go. But again, thank you so very much for watching. If you have anything you want to request personally, drop it in the comments below and I will do my best to get to it as always. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to follow me and support me for more in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!